Now I think we're ready to have a really special presentation, and that is the Dancing Yves Dances. And we have 4 people that are going to be joining us for that, and I think they're all here and co-hosted. So we have Sherry Cochran, Joan Hantman, Asako, and Diane Baker. And ladies, we'll turn it over to you.
Where's Diane? There she is. So we're so honored to be here. This is my Friday Night Life team of fabulous teachers and dancers. And we were asked to pick our favorite Yves dances. No, small feet. And of course, we don't have time for all of our favorite Yves dances, but we're able to do some of them. And I'm going to go first. Just to say a little bit, I met Yves in 1970, so we're going on well over 50 years since I started learning dances from him. And I think we kind of represent the spectrum, you know. Joni did a lot of stuff on the East Coast. Diane met him later. Asako met him later, you know, so we've got a lot of the old and a lot of the new and a lot of the in-between. So I think I'm representing a lot of the old because a lot of my dances are from the 70s and 80s. I might have one from the 90s and one from 2020. But here's my set. I'm starting off with Krivo Sadovsko Horo, 1988 San Diego Folk Dance Camp. That's a little bit later. And then Opas from the Red album, 1970 San Diego Folk Dance Camp. And Plevensko Daičovo Horo, North Bulgaria, 1990 Idlewild Folk Dance Camp. All right. And I don't know where Donnie is, but I didn't have a bear and I brought a Wookiee just for him.
You're amazing. That's great.
And
it makes noise when you squeeze it.
Okay, here we go.
Plevensko Daičovo.
That's my set.
Sherry, I just thought I'd let you know that France is here and Catherine may be with her again. And I don't know if you might at some point want to say hello to them.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I think Asako has one of France's dance in her set.
Wonderful. So I'll leave that to you and just let them know if you want her spotlit.
Okay. Up next is, hello, Diane.
I'm here. So first, I want to say thank you to the Stockton Committee. I don't know if you remember, I interviewed you all a couple of years ago when you put on the first virtual Stockton Festival. And I was so impressed with your answer that you're all committed to saving recreational folk dancing because it couldn't happen during COVID time. So thank you for all of the work you put in. Now back to Yves. When I first started dancing in the 70s, I didn't go to big festivals. I went to just the local club and then out for beer and pizza. Very important to me. So I didn't learn Yves dances from Yves. I learned them from local leaders. I dropped out of dancing, came back, and was encouraged to go to Stockton. That's where I actually learned to dance. And Yves was a favorite teacher in Stockton. So you'll see my dances are mostly coming from my experience at camp. First step, Kardamska, a bouncy step, which I like. Yves learned it from Zivko Petrov, and he taught it in 2009, Stockton. Next, a dance that challenges my balance alone, Staro Pomaško, but it's really beautiful. I cycled through this region of the Rhodope Mountains, so I like it, even though I lose my balance and may do a little creative interpretation there. Then, Chestata, not quite sure where the accent falls, which is a 5/8 dance that Yves learned from Belchostanov, and it's done to a Jew's harp. It's really fun. I cut the music a little short because it's one pattern for a long dance, long piece of music. Okay, Kardamska Zborenka. Festival. Next, Staro Pomaško.
Shiro
Beautiful job, Diane.
Okay, now we can get ready with Jusak and Čestata. Čestata. And when Yves taught that, he said, not much of an arm swing, just let it be natural. I don't want to talk about arm swings because you guys will exaggerate, and I probably did. Okay, that is my set. See you in a little bit.
Who's up next?
Asako,
Muted, Asako.
Asako's up next.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. I shared sound and I didn't unmute. But anyway, I just wanted to say I'm really happy to be doing this because we all love Yves and we love Yves' dances, and picking the dances really brought him back to me. So I hope I picked some things that you really like. There's some stories for the first three in the set, and then the others I don't have any stories for. The first one is Megdansko. He taught this several times since the early 2000s, and the last time he taught it in Southern California was 2015. And there's some arm swings in this dance, and when he taught it, in the notes there's a discrepancy of when you swung the arms down. So I used Facebook messaging to ask him, because at the end of his session he said there's a 1-year warranty on these dances, so if you want to ask a question you can contact him and it'll be free advice for 1 year. So I thought I'd take advantage of that. So on June 9th 2015 I Facebook messaged him and I asked him about what measure these arm swing starts, and the very next day, now I figured that Yves was probably really busy and I wouldn't hear from him, but the next day he wrote back and this is what he said: "Dear customer, thank you for contacting our toll-free service line. I thought it was a spam message." And then he goes on to say the arms for Megdansko figure 1 start swinging only on measure 7, forward and back, forward and down, and then back up on measure 8. So see if I get it right when I do this. So this is Megdansko. Whatever happens with these dances, it's just brings all these special memories back. So that's Megdansko. My next dance is High Green Mountain, and this is a dance that France taught. And the reason that I wanted to do this is because on Tuesday nights, it's the West Side Folk Dancers group. And one of our dancers, Dorothy, went to a garage sale and found a bag of wrist bells. So we've been using them on Tuesday nights and having a great time. So France, we wanted to do this, well, I wanted to do this dance for you because it's just wonderful. So High Green Mountain, this dance is from the Aboriginal people of Taiwan. Pardon me?
Thank you, Asako.
Oh, France, you're there. You're so welcome. Thank you for teaching this. So here we go, High Green Mountain, and I hope you can hear the bells. This is very cute. That's for you, France, and for Yves too, of course. Last dance of my set is, you guessed it, Passu Torrau. And there's a story in this too. Passu Torrau was taught probably around 2015, I'm not quite sure, but Yves taught it during his tour in Southern California. He taught it in several venues. He taught it in LA. And when he taught it in LA, he had said something about, gee, the music actually sounds like kazoos. So I thought it would be really funny that if we went down to San Diego where he taught, I knew he was going to teach it again. Maybe I should bring down some kazoos. And France, I think you remember this, but I brought about 12 kazoos down and we handed it off to different people in the session, like you and Daniela Ivanova was there, and Pat and Vicky Mayhew and Martha and I had these kazoos.
May I add something, Asako?
Yes.
Okay, well, I remember very well the kazoo time in San Diego. And I remember also that I just want people to know that after we learned that dance from a group visiting us in Montreal for an international festival, a group from Sardinia. And then afterwards, Roberto did a version of Passu Torrau. Passu Torrau can be like a bravo. You can have many, many different ones. So the one you're doing is the one that Yves taught and not the one that Roberto
Yay.
taught afterwards.
Great.
Okay.
Hi, Catherine.
Enjoy.
So this is for you also, and Yves for Passu Torrau. And I think Martha's in here too, and Vicky. See if you remember it. That is my set for now. I'll be back.
Hi, so I have a set of Yves dances. Let me just share my music before I forget. A mixture of new and old. We'll start with Krivata, which was one of the new dances for me. This is one during this whole pandemic. We kept asking Yves, to do a session. Why doesn't he do a Zoom session? And he said he didn't have the setup in the house. It really wasn't going to work. But instead, what he would do is release some of his older videos that he had of his dances. And Krivata, I believe, was one of the ones that he released, which I just fell in love with. Krivata, you know, it means crooked, the crooked Kopanica rhythm, 11/8 or 11/16. So I think just about anything from Bulgaria and Macedonia you could call kriva something. But this was one I really enjoyed doing, so that's my first dance, followed by an old absolute favorite of mine, Sabrali Sa Se Sabrali, which I learned from Yves ages ago and just melts me every time I do it. I also happened to meet on one of my trips the singers from the group and the junior singers from that group, who also gave me her bracelet. So I'm just forever reminded of that song and that dance. And the third is Takanata, which Yves actually retaught on Zoom, I believe at one of the Stockton winter weekends. So this was a dance that I learned from Yves fairly recently, and again, just absolutely fell in love with it. So those are my 3 dances that I'm going to start off with. Thank you, Yves, for just introducing me to these wonderful dances. All right, Krivata, a very slow Kopanica. So the next, Sabrali, and just warning, as I did with this one, the official start of these dances is slightly later, but I can't not dance to some of this music, so I tend to start a little bit earlier. So just a warning for the folk police. The official Eve start is a little bit later in the music, but I tend to start just a little earlier to dance through every second that I can. Sabrali Sa Se, Sabrali.
Sabrali sa sa sabrali, malkine momi srednine, popreli koliko popreli, legnali ta sa zaspali, spali sa koliko pospali, porva sa moma razbudi, porva sa moma razbudi. Na družki vikaše, stanite družki da vidimo i komu kako je lipsalo. Stanite družki da vidimo i komu kako je lipsalo. Mene družki lipsalo na bela šika gerdanče. Mene družki lipsalo na bela šika gerdanče, vtora momika vikaše, mene družki lipsalo, mene družki lipsalo, Marina tjoko košće kolanče, treta momika vikaše, mene družki lipsalo, treta mominka vikaše, mene družki lipsalo, mene družki lipsalo, Marina tjavka snaška sukmanče, mene družki lipsalo, Marina tjavka snaška sukmanče, mene družki lipsalo, Marina tjavka snaška sukmanče, mene družki lipsalo, Marina tjavka snaška sukmanče.
Beautifully done, Joni.
Oh, just, Takanata, thank you. And that, I just melt through that dance. Anyway, Takanata, I will signal a lead for when I'm going to change, but feel free to change from 1 to 2 whenever you like. Here we go. now cycling back around.
Okay. I was there and then I wasn't there. Thank you, Joni.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Sherry and Diane, the four of you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, France. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot.
And thank you also to all the staff that is working for the winter camp. Thank you very much. From the bottom of our heart. Thank you.
You have to know that Friday Night Live was completely honored to be asked to do this. I wanted to mention how generous Yves was. When I started my Life Balkan Dance and Music camp, I didn't have very much money to start it off. And Yves was one of a few people who offered to come for next to nothing just to help me get it started. And it was amazing. When I was looking for photos, I found a photo of Yves dancing to Zlatny Usti. And boy, did that bring back memories. And I mean, his heart was so big. His heart was so big that it just enveloped all of us. So it's probably better if I dance than cry. So I've shortened my set a little bit so that we can get to everybody. And I'm going to do two of my favorite dances, Razložko Horo and Melnishko Horo. Melnishko, like I said, a lot of mine are old, but Melnishko was the last dance that I learned from Yves, and this was at Laguna right before lockdown.
Right.
So let me share my sound. I'm sorry, I'm losing it a little bit.
That's quite all right, Sherry. It's only because you care.
You'll forgive me?
Absolutely.
So
I'll forgive you and join you.
Here we go. Okay, that's it for me. I almost forgot my dances in the midst of an emotional breakdown, but hopefully you'll forgive me as I
No.
pass it on to my colleague, Diane.
No forgiveness needed, Sherry.
They're such great dances. As long as we can play the music and dance them together, one way or another, we're happy. Diane.
Yes, I'm here. So he was a consummate teacher, and he generously shared his tips for teaching. I attended 2 North-South seminars where he was featured. He gave us this tip. You have to meet everybody's needs. Music teachers want the beat right on time, and they know the signature, the time. The cultural people want correct, impeccable styling. And the PE teachers, they just want everybody to keep moving, especially aerobically. So you can see who this set is devoted to. First up is Tsonkovo, which Yves learned from a Bulgarian living in Montreal named Tsonkovo Horo. It's 2/4 and feels like horses, galloping horses. Next up, Sitna Baluca. He taught this at Stockton in 2007, but he learned it in 1970 in Novo Selo. Fun. And this is a leader called when you change the figure, so you might do it differently, then I will leave it. Drjanovska Râčenica. This one is number 2, which Yves learned from Beltrasanov. One thing I loved about Yves is he always told the story of the lyrics, especially while we were catching our breath. So the lyrics to this one tell of brides gathering to dance the horo. Kolyo, the fast one, with a limping donkey, shows up, and everybody gives Kolyo a coin for his help crossing the muddy stream, except the widow, who raises her skirts and wades across the muddy water. So have fun with these dances from Yves. Amsterdam. Okay, ready for the sweater off? And now for a Râčenica.
Trembali mi sa, Drjanovskite buki, trembali mi sa, Drjanovskite buki, na zbor da ida, zbor da zboruva, horo da igraja, deko ljude, preda se ne vidi, džanom deko ljude, preda se ne vidi, deko ljude, preda se ne vidi, džanom deko ljude, tu da se ne vidi. Всичките му дават по една парица, та да ги прекара през мътна водица. Деко люде, бре да се не види, джаном деко люде, тук да се не види, деко люде, бре да се не види, джаном деко люде, тук да се не види. Всичките му дават по една парица, та да ги прекара през мътна водица. Салена вдовица нищо му не дава, бели политика мътна вода гази. Деко люде, бре да се не види, джано деко люде, тук да се не види, деко люде, бре да се не види, джано деко люде, тук да da se ne vidi.
Thank you, Yves, for wonderful dances.
So now we're off to Asako.
Sorry, I was getting a little emotional too. Okay, let me share screen, and I'm going to do one of Yves' more complicated dances. The only complicated one I'll do is called Krivo Ihtimansko, and it's a weird rhythm that tweaks a 13/8. So it's really interesting, but as Yves said, it's only got 2 figures in reality, and it's not a hard dance once you figure out the code. So here's the code. And last is rodila. Koge me mamo rodila. Where I live with Koge and Koge me mamo rodila. One of our favorites to finish an evening. But stop and is not finishing after this.
Koga me mama rodila, lele, koga me mama rodila, v kalofer se slučilo, lele, v kalofer se slučilo. Zatuj običam Balkana, lele, zatuj običam Balkana, Balkana i umrukčala, lele, Balkana i umrukčala. Skalo to i džende
te kupena lelera ja i još te kupena. Potoci bujni penlivi lele, potoci bujni penlivi vodoskoci, krivi lele i vodoskoci krivi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Asako. And thank you, Joan.
Johnny, we'll need to do just two.
Okay. So I will, actually, I'm going to switch my order slightly. We'll do Bičak as the first dance, since what's an Eve hour without something from the Red album? So I had to include.
Besides Opas.
I know. Yes, many of you did, but this is my first Red album dance tonight. So Bičak, and then one that I learned recently that I just thought was an amazing dance, and hope it gets everybody moving, Vidinsko. And thank you again, Eve, for just enriching us so much with this material. I can't imagine how different my life would be without it. So thank you. All right, Bičak. And again, feel free to do whenever you want. Whoever that is.
Duszewska.
I don't know who's is that Sherry playing? Somebody playing?
It's not me.
That was Asako. Asako's, I've muted her. You're back.
Okay, sorry. Here we go, Bičak. And again,
Sorry, I had it on a 1 minute in between and then I forgot to turn it off. Totally sorry, Jody.
No problem. Okay, I'll call it. Feel free to do whatever you want.
Joni, I think you need to share sound.
Okay. What?
I think you need to share sound. You're a little soft.
Okay, sorry. Oh, it didn't share. Okay, my apologies. Let's, okay. Vidinsko. Here we go. All aboard.
Outstanding. Wow.
Yeah.
Joni, Asako, Diane, Sherry, what a wonderful presentation. The four of you really proud of yourselves. You really should be. It was wonderful. Absolutely super. Can't thank the four of you enough.
Oh.
Beautiful dances, beautifully done.
And
So
Carrie is our leader in this.
Thank you. It was an honor. We had a little closing set. Do we have time for one dance or no?
Go for it.
Okay. Well, just as to remind us of Yves' sense of humor, let's do Dobrudzanska Rag. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, well,
Do you need to share sound or turn on original sound?
sorry, the share didn't take. One more time. Okay, looks like it's going to take this time. Here we go.
Oh my, yes, Yves would have appreciated that with his wonderful sense of humor. Ladies, thank you so much. I wish I could stay and chat more, but unfortunately we need to move on. We have the Asia party coming up and I have some announcements, but from the bottom of my heart, I thank all four of you. It was wonderful.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you to my team, and we will see you later.
Take care.
And thank you, Yves.